might take for today. Sunset on all day. You might have to try 1,000 times. I'm gonna keep on going. Out of my mind. Run, river, run. You know I'm coming with you.
Morning, Ben.
Even though my mind is confident, still has a few things to do. Don't forget me around the bend. Meet you out in the time. I'm gonna keep on going. Out of my mind. Into the sunny weather. Across the great divide. Birds of a feather. We're gonna fly. We're gonna go together. I'm a lie like you. I'm in a lab, you're a lie like me. How many nights we spent drinking champagne, talking philosophically. You keep up the good work, and I'll try to keep up with mine. I'm gonna keep on going. Sunny weather. Across the great divide. Birds of a feather. We're gonna fly. We're gonna go together. But on the hilltop, eyes on the horizon, all I can say is here I come. Whether it's through meditation or roll of the dice, I'm gonna keep on going. Oh yeah, right. Ooh, out of my mind. I wake up early in the morning. You might not like talking to me. I need coffee just to be able to make coffee. I wake up like a cat up in a tree. Some folks rise and start shining. They're all ready to seize the day. As long as they keep their distance, everything just might be okay. I wake wake up so early in the morning.
Early in the Morning Afternoon News is filmed before a live webcast audience with your anchor, Nathan Moore. Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to Early in the Morning Afternoon News. I'm Nathan Moore, and I just woke up. What happened while I was sleeping? I'm about to find out. It's been quite a week here in Nathan's land. We do have a new improvement, a new update, a new experiment going on our Discord server, which has been in the news a lot this week. The Discord server itself. There is parts of the news stories this week. I'm like, wait a second, why are they focusing so much on Discord like this? That's where the leaks dropped from about the Ukraine war and other things. But we love our Discord server. It's our fort. It's our pillow fort on the World Wide Web, and we'd love you to all be a part of it. And you'll love it once you migrate over. Come on over to Discord and have some fun here on the internet. But a new feature. And I'm sure this will work from anywhere you're watching, from Twitch, from YouTube, Facebook, wherever you are. %news, followed by whatever you say, will be added to the news ticker at the bottom. I don't know if this is it might not work to have this be a public feature. Maybe I should just use it to add things to the news or select moderators. I'm not sure yet, but we'll try the anarchy version first. I'm a big fan of all the possibilities. So have at it. Put your fake news in the ticker. Here, wait. I'll even point at it for you, but it'll take me a second because I just woke up. Right here. This ticker. Right here. Right here. This guy. You see it? See it? God. Yeah, I'm pretty stiff. I just haven't done my yoga today, but there, yeah, right there, that ticker. All right, let's see. Let's go. Here we go. Head first into the deep end. Oh, we've got our first news blurb added to the ticker by a viewer. Nathan Moore is now awake. Extra, read all about it. Nathan Moore is awake. About time. Most of us have been doing stuff all day. Most of us lead productive lives. Look at him. Hippie. Here we go. I have no idea what it's going to say. Drum roll, please. Oh my goodness. Discord in the headlines. Feds charge Discord disruptor. Ooh, got some alliteration going on. They be doubling down on the Discord disruptor docs. How did he access the docs? Pentagon humiliation. I think the big break about them finding the leaker is the fact that the documents are true, that they really were actual documents. It's not just some other country's disinformation campaign. It's interesting that this is the focus, that Discord is the focus, and how he accessed the docs is the focus, and all this stuff. How about what was in them? Are the major news outlets covering the information therein, or again are they focused sort of like the Twitter files and all kinds of stuff? They focus on the personalities and different things, and not the information itself. Oh, well, look at Musk and Taibbi. They're like bros. What did the file say? I have no idea. I didn't read it. But look at these bros. They're such bros, dude. Frogville Studios, good to see you. Putin orders Pacific Fleet war games to test nuke strike on West. Just running a drill. We're just going to run the drill. Nothing to see here. Move along. Signs tough new military draft law banning conscripts from fleeing Russia. Leak claims Russia special forces are decimated. Well, each country only has so many special forces. The rest are just regular people forced to fight. All right, we can get rid of this music. I'm going to have a sip of coffee here. Clint Eastwood readies final movie. Until it goes so well and he has so much fun and is so rejuvenated by it, he decides to do one more. Supremes temporarily block abortion pill restrictions. Gosh. Yeah. Doesn't sound like a court's decision. What do courts know about medical stuff? Jury selection begins in Fox trial. Redactions revealed. Is someone in Murdoch camp giving stories to Succession? What are they watching the new Succession and it just lines up too good with what's actually happening? What's that all about? New episode may have fingerprints of the trial. Interesting. Wow, we have to watch this final season. We like to let the whole season finish just in case we get on a roll. We don't reach that cliff and hang off that cliff. We don't want the cliffhanger vibe. Freedom to binge. But we've enjoyed Succession up till then. Ooh, I can't wait till the third column. I just peeked over there. I'm looking forward to see it. So is the I need to see this. Is it working? Is our ticker? Did your news get added to the ticker there, Carl? Is it working? It's pretty exciting. I'm just all right. This is sort of meta. I'm just here watching my show. Welcome to America. I'm just here watching my own show. And the nation gathers round to watch him watch himself. Oh, you saw it? Confirmation of success? Very cool. Very cool. I won't make you guys watch me wait till it passes by again. But how cool is that? Woohoo! Tech support strikes again. The ever-evolving Percy bot can do anything. He's Chat GPT 4. He's part of it. He's the good part of the problem. Yeah, we're part of the problem, the good part. The veteran lawyers who will lead prosecution of the Don. The Don. Really? 2024 Republicans descend upon NRA convention under shadow of mass shootings. What an interesting headline that is. Descend, like they're coming out of the hills to attack the Valley people. So the people of the Valley sent a message up the hill, asking for that buried treasure, gold and riches for which they'd kill. Pence loudly booed. Yep. He's on the S list. Why we should all be gazing at more sunsets. I think you should all be gazing at more sunrises. The one thing I like about my sleep schedule, as weird as it is, and I've been this way my whole life, a night owl, going to bed with the sun coming up, but I get to see both fully. I get to see the sunrise and the sunset in all their glory. I experience both transitions fully, which is pretty cool. Latin and Tex-Mex overtake Italian as go-to food order. I love it all. I'll take some of all of it. National Guardsman caught trying to moonlight as hitman. Oh, failed attempt. You need anybody taken out? Trying to moonlight. What, do you put an ad in the classifieds? National Guardsman for hire. Have gun, will travel. Men with higher libidos, 69% less likely to die young. Goodness. So all you young men out there with low libido, you might want to start getting nervous, as if you didn't have enough to worry about. India population surpasses China, shifting world center of gravity. Wait a minute. That's hyperbole, right? I presume. India's population surpasses China, shifting world center of gravity. So now we're all revolving around India. We're leaning India's way. Top court approves Macron plan to raise retirement age. Boy, that's been some carnage in France. I was going to use the word carnage. Battles on the streets of Paris. People are pissed. They do not like that. Macron really seems to be going his own way lately. I feel like he's Olivia Newton-John at the end of Grease. You're the one that I want. No, you're not. Quit. San Francisco haters go suspiciously silent after Bob Lee murder arrest. Are they feeling guilty? What's going on with that? Suspiciously silent. Where are all the haters at? Stabbed to death after argument about suspect's sister. Interesting. BBC broadcast interrupted when host suffers heart attack live on air. I guess I won't reenact that, even though I'm tempted to. That would not be right. Can mutually loathing Americans learn to leave each other alone? Can mutually loathing Americans learn to leave each other alone? There's a lot of alliteration in that, too. We got some poets on the staff this morning. Can mutually... I just can't get my brain around this. One more time, slowly. Everybody with me now. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Can mutually loathing Americans learn to leave each other alone? We've been asking ourselves that. Mutually loathing. Hug it out. Just hug it out. Rex Reed says, finally a good movie. All right, this might be the first link I'm tempted to click on. What movie does Rex Reed think is finally a good one? Everything Went Fine is the name of the movie, a life-affirming examination of death. Oh, goodness. God, even silly movies are so serious these days. I'm not saying that's a silly one, but even the silly ones are serious. You know what I'm saying. Biggest banks report bumper profits amid industry turmoil. Of course, that's always the case. Amid calamity, record profits. As the entire thing descends into chaos, record profits reported by those at the top. Yep, that's the one thing we figured out, is how no matter what happens, record profits for a few. Minneapolis, first major U.S. city to allow all Muslim prayer calls. Wait, that's a whole sound, right? It rings out over the whole town. There you go. That'll be a tourist attraction. Top cop accused of extreme torture, crushing testicles, pulling teeth. Gosh, that's the whole thing. That's the whole gambit. All right. Move along. Nothing to see here. Adult ADHD, Wild West of psychiatry. There's a part of me that has to click on that. My ADHD is kicking in. Dying to know more about that link. Parler shut temporarily by new owner. Parler is what again? That's an app, right? Vatican will probe mystical phenomenon around world. That would be a great new reality show. That should be a reality show. Follow the Vatican. We go this week on on Vatican mystical phenomena. Pope's exorcist, real priest who inspired film. Boy, we saw a disturbing clip from that movie earlier. MIT scientists reverse Alzheimer's. How about that? All right, third column. Here we are, plowing through these. Here's why downpour in Fort Lauderdale just wouldn't stop. Over 25 inches of rain in hours. That's a crazy amount of water being dumped down. 25 inches of rain. Man. It can just be awesome power. MAGA nasty attack ad rips DeSantis eating habits. What is he? He was accused of eating pudding with his fingers or something. Hey, I've eaten pudding with my fingers. How are you going to get that last bit out of the thing? I mean, if you're not willing to go in there with your fingers. Haley escalates attacks against Trump and his baggage. Haley freaks me out. Now, Kanye West just wants to be left alone, he said at a press conference to which he invited the entire world. Here's where I wanted to be. Alien motherships. Pentagon official floats theory for unexplained sightings. Let's see what they're saying now. It's just such a wonderful example of the desensitization, is that the word, of our times, where a couple of years ago, the Pentagon released footage of unexplained aerial phenomenon that they couldn't explain. And everybody was like, yeah. So it's like the collective reaction. For all growing up, you're like, well, the reason the government keeps these secrets is because there would be hysteria. Everybody would freak out. They got to protect us from this information, or we'd all lose our minds. And then they finally are like, okay, we got some aliens here, and everybody's like, yeah, oh my God, stop, just stop it. Okay. Although all of it is completely weird. And for those that think that there's a complete manipulation and fake news situation going on, I think, the way the alien stuff, the UAP, unexplained, unidentified, what's the U stand for in UAP? The way that stuff was disseminated and dropped was super weird. New York Times drops it. And here's what I find really weird about it is I started deep diving it. And it wasn't too long before I found this guy on YouTube who was really good, and he completely explained it. He completely explained all the footage as being completely benign and completely explainable using just the stuff we already know. And there he was on YouTube, completely debunking it. Now, the Pentagon and the New York Times, they didn't do that. They didn't explain it that way. They wanted that story to drop as like, oh my God, there might be UFOs. They didn't get the people were hip. The people were like, yeah. we don't believe you or something. That was more the air, and it was a valid response. And it's inexplicable to me why the Pentagon and the New York Times couldn't find any explanations for these things, but this dude on YouTube just nailed it. They should have called the dude on YouTube. Alien motherships. Here we go. Pentagon official floats a theory for unexplained sightings. One astronomy professor calls the notions highly questionable and odd. The official in charge of a secretive Pentagon effort to investigate unexplained aerial incursions has co-authored an academic paper that presents an out-of-this-world theory. Recent objects could actually be alien probes from a mothership sent to study Earth. We need some music. We need cooler music. Whoops, hold on. Here we go. How about this one? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about aliens. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there's been so many reports and so many sightings, and a lot of them could really be something. I mean, it does seem like there's a lot of unexplained phenomenon. All I was referring to is the specific cases that were mentioned in the New York Times article and the Pentagon release. Those specific stories were debunked on YouTube readily. But there's been hundreds and hundreds. It does seem like something's going on. I don't know. Those are just very bad examples. In a draft paper dated March 7th, Sean Kirkpatrick, head of the Pentagon's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. There you go. There's a name. Head Sean Kirkpatrick. Hey, when you want to step down, give me a call. I might be interested in this job. Head of the Pentagon's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. It's not catchy, but it's cool. I'm into it. And Harvard professor Avi Loeb teamed up to write that the objects which appear to defy all physics could be probes from an extraterrestrial parent craft. Let that sink in. They could be probes from an extraterrestrial parent craft. Of course, they could be anything. They could be figments of our imagination. They could be reflections of light off crap in the air. They could be probes from an extraterrestrial parent craft. It's unusual for government officials, especially those involved in the nascent effort to collect intelligence on recent sightings, to discuss possibility of extraterrestrial life. Although top agency officials don't rule it out when asked. They're no dummies. The paper has been circulating among science-focused news outlets after Loeb posted it online. Politico has verified the paper's authenticity. Apparently it was dropped on Discord first. More than half of the 5-page paper is devoted to discussing the possibility that the unexplained objects DoD is studying could be the probes in the mothership scenario. Including most of the page-long introduction, one section is titled The Extraterrestrial Possibility and Another Propulsion Methods. So, and that seems like, that read like bad English, but I don't think it was. All right, watch this. The Insider's Guide to the Pentagon Reports. Let's do this. Let's go in.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. Well, if there's like... Look at that thing. It's rotating.
Objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are.
We just have to face the fact that maybe we're not alone in the universe, which hurts our ego a little bit.
It does not.
Senate wants answers.
Anything that enters an airspace that's not supposed to be there is a threat.
My name is Brian Bender, and this is my abduction story.
Oh, yeah, Brian Bender. Even names are alliterated today.
I call it my abduction story because sometimes I felt like I was getting sucked into this UFO enthusiast world. Here is your guide to understanding what's going on with the Pentagon and UFOs. Politico started delving into the UFO issue.
All right, we might not be able to watch all of this, but did anybody catch the name? Chad, did you catch the name of the store they were in? Donut is a donut shop, and it says on the wall, "Donut, stop believing." UFO themed donut place. That's great. God, pastries all in circular shapes, looking like rings of Saturn, and what a great theme. I just want to go there and eat all the donuts for breakfast.
When we reported one of the first stories about the existence of a Pentagon UFO research office, it's not just they have an office that's looking into this, but there's some real experiences that our pilots are reporting that are getting at least some attention in the Pentagon. What I came to understand was that even within the military, there was a reluctance because I think military personnel have been concerned about being labeled, tinfoil hat wearing kooks if they start talking about UFOs. But clearly, there were enough reports that they really couldn't ignore it. Since the UFO task force became news in 2017, more politicians are more comfortable than ever talking about unknown objects in the sky.
We have lots of reports about what we call unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Let's take a quick look back at how this all happened. In 1952, the U.S. Air Force launched Project Blue Book to look into UFO sightings, but you'll hear more about that later on. Fast forward to 2008, the Pentagon's secret UFO office known as ATIP was established. It wasn't until 2017 when footage of Navy pilots witnessing UFOs leaked and the existence of the Pentagon UFO office became known that the story really started to get interesting. By 2019, members of Congress were receiving classified briefings about UFOs. In 2020, the Senate Intelligence Committee, led by Senator Marco Rubio, decides they want to request a government report on UFOs. A public report that not only pulls together what the government might know about UFOs, but more importantly, what they're doing to get to the bottom of these mysteries. When the Advanced Aerial Threat Identification Program was created at the Pentagon, it was given a fairly innocuous-sounding military name.
Sorry, I was doing some research here behind the scenes while that was going on. Let's go now. I want to show you this video that I found after the Pentagon stuff dropped. I think that this might be a good one.
They're called.
This guy Mick West. I don't know why they don't call this dude, but this is the one that came from the Navy.
The Navy officially released 3 videos of UFOs. They're called FLIR, Gimbal, and Go Fast. The internet immediately took this as meaning that aliens are real, but the videos are not actually new. They were internally declassified back in 2017 and immediately released by Tom DeLonge's To the Stars Academy. I started writing about them in December 2017, and with the help of others, I quickly arrived at likely explanations for all 3 videos.
He nails it too.
The FLIR video is most likely a distant plane. The video was taken well after the famous encounter with a hypersonic zigzagging tic-tac by pilots from the Nimitz. This object doesn't actually move on screen except when the camera moves, and it resembles an out-of-focus, low-resolution, backlit plane. I don't know what the pilots saw, but this video does not show anything really interesting. The gimbal video is also probably of a plane. It's not rotating. What you see is the infrared glare of the engines, which is larger than the plane. It looks like it's rotating because of an artifact of the gimbal-mounted camera system. This is all a bit confusing, so I made several videos explaining it. Oh, and the aura around the plane, that's just image sharpening. It happens all the time in thermal camera footage. It's not an alien warp drive, it's just the unsharp mask filter. The Go Fast video probably shows a balloon. It's not moving fast, it's not skimming the water. And you can verify this yourself because all the information you need is in the numbers on the screen. You just need a little high school trigonometry. The apparent speed is just an effect caused by parallax. Over the last few years, I made a variety of videos explaining all this.
Yes, you did.
You can find the playlist linked in the description. If you've got questions, especially about...
And according to most news reports I've seen since, he's put out great videos, and they're all videos that have not been watched by the Pentagon or by the mainstream news. So, there you go. Mick West. He does a really good job. I have a feeling the day he goes, oh my God, what is this? Is the day I'll start doing my little happy dance. All right, back to the news. Pacific Ocean crack off Oregon monitored for mega quake risk. I tell you what, they have new writers here for the headlines, and I am a fan. They are really pulling out their Poetry 101 chops. Pacific Ocean crack off Oregon monitored for mega quake risk. Zero capacity to save. Argentines buckle under 103% inflation. 103. China's Xi, Brazil's Lula take stance against USA, in particular against using the US dollar for global commerce. It's a whole thing. Should definitely keep our eye on that. Oh, a new news headline has been added to the. I love it, Carl. You're crushing. We have you're now in control of a legit news ticker. Is that a dream? Is that a dream come true, or did you not know how bad you wanted to do this? Active tuberculosis outbreak at Amazon facility. All right, you guys take the day off. Take the rest of the week. But it's Friday. Yeah, exactly. Woman emerges after 500 days living alone in cave. Then swiftly returned and went right back in. Read the headlines, went right back in. All right. We made it through the Drudge. Let's check out the news map here. We might get out of here at a reasonable hour. Pentagon leak suspect 21 appears in court. Ukraine making some withdrawals in Bakhmut. Well, there's absolutely nothing left in Bakhmut. Indiana schools closing after bomb threats, what we know. Supreme Court briefly restores broad availability of abortion pill. McCarthy prepares his opening debt limit bid, and it's full of potential pitfalls. I just want to take a moment here to say that I see we're glitching out a little bit. Sorry about that. I have to restart all the computers. It's been a big week. They've worked hard this week. They need a rest. Did double duty yesterday with Surly in the morning, and then a wonderful Jabberjohn. But I am thinking about opening up the hotline here on the show and have it be a bit of a call-in show. Maybe pick a topic for when the hotline's open if anybody has an opinion on it. And I was thinking last night just to myself that maybe my role, well, one is creating a cool little telephone that this puppet version of myself holds whenever the phone rings. That's part of my job. And then as people call in to express their opinion, I think my job will be just to help them clarify their view. I will only seek for them to facilitate them expressing their perspective as clearly as possible. I'll ask clarification questions, but I won't debate. I think that could be my role. No matter what the view is, I will just help you say it as clearly as possible, and give you a time limit. I don't want to get into debating people on different topics, but I think I can help them clarify their stance. And maybe, with some, a lot of times when you ask a clarifying question, it can be a debate tactic. So it'll be hard to get people in an open state of mind, and especially if they don't really know what they're actually, the implications of what they think, which is often the case. A lot of us don't realize the implications of what our view is expressing. Just seeking clarification could feel very challenging. So it's not going to be easy no matter what, but I think it could be a great part of the show. and I always have loved call-in shows. I tell you what, when I used to tour for a living, the radio, there's nothing like coast to coast in the middle of the night. But any call-in show, I was psyched. I could drive that whole shift until we lost that radio signal. I was good to go. Just give me a call-in show, and we're rolling. Alien motherships. Pentagon official floats a theory for I love that this is a headline, and it's a Pentagon official, and he's just like, yeah. Well, it could be there could be like a mothership out there, and these little things are just probes, man. They're probes from the mothership that we can't see. Wow. And you work for the Pentagon? I do, dude. I sure do. Machine learning sharpens first photo of a black hole into a skinny donut. Donut, stop believing. James Webb Space Telescope eyes Hubble Ultra Deep Field in stunning detail photo. Let's look at the photo. Why not? God, haven't we seen these? I feel like they're recycling a little bit. They're like, oh, God, it's Friday. Why don't we just use Friday's news from 2021? Same date, wrong year. Wagner and Russian army cooperate in fresh push to take Bakhmut. Take Bakhmut is such a weird phrase. Bakhmut holds is a weird phrase. There's, for a lot of people, Bakhmut holds has been a battle cry for the last few weeks. But if you look at the drone footage, aerial footage of Bakhmut, it doesn't exist anymore. It's been completely obliterated. That city is gone. But still, Wagner and Russian army cooperate in fresh push to take Bakhmut. Ukraine withdraws troops from Bakhmut. It's just so surreal. North Korea missile launch was a new kind of ICBM, regime says. I read that it was the first one that used a solid fuel. I guess that means it could go even further. I feel like that's all North Korea does. It's 24/7. U.S. Israel must stand united on Iran nuclear issue. Pressure mounts on China to offer debt relief to poor countries facing default. I guess the whole world owes China a lot of money. Tonga volcano explosion equaled most powerful ever U.S. nuclear test. That's in Russia, right? The Tonga volcano. Saw some pictures where everything was just covered in ash. It was incredible. New coronavirus variant Arcturus, or XBB 1.16, is spreading. What to know? I guess y'all don't want to know that. All right. Well, I feel like, all right, we'll take a look at the Google News, and I'm very curious from you all if you have any sources I should add to my folder here of places we look for headlines. What sources do you trust? What sources do you believe tell the truth for the most part, although nobody can be right all the time? Who do you think does the best efforts? And I'm also willing to go down any rabbit hole or explore any link that you post in the comments. So you guys are really the staff here and the news team on Surly in the Morning Afternoon News. Couldn't do it without you. So feel free out there. All right, we've covered all that. It is fascinating that now that we have the person who leaked the documents on Discord, that's the entire focus of the story, as opposed to pivoting like, oh, okay, these are probably legit documents. we probably should look deeper into the information there. And we always get wrapped up in the personalities, the leakers. PercyBot is the only source tech support trusts. I hear you. I hear you. Tech support in the house. Everybody, big hand, big hand. Once again, kicking PercyBot up another notch. Nobody thought it was possible. They said it couldn't be done. But Percy just keeps getting better and better and better. Oh man, the Onion is too good. They would beat me to my own punch. They would make me. They would put me to shame. They'd be like, "Oh, you think this guy can laugh at the news? Wait till you see what we do." Love the Onion. I love the Onion. I remember that was another thing of my touring days. Whenever we go to Colorado, I think is where it first was appearing. I think that was maybe the source. To find it, it was a paper. It was an actual paper, and you'd find it for free in coffee shops and stuff. Like, oh, they got the Onion. They got the Onion. It was like finding Blue American Spirits back in the day when they were hard to come by. Oh, they got Blue Spirits. It's the whole thing. Yeah, exactly. I used to love getting the print version in the street boxes. It was a whole thing. It was wonderful. Did we decide NPR is state-sponsored and untrustworthy? I don't know. How could we possibly decide such a thing? Chad says we did the same thing with the Onion in Colorado. Yeah, it was a whole thing, right? I thought about doing the Twitter trending, but the Twitter trending doesn't seem to be that fun anymore. Every time I do it, it's like it just seems random. It's not like the first day we did it, Virginia was trending. I was like, oh my God, why is Virginia trending? And then it was just a bunch of unrelated stories. It's a whole thing. So for those that don't know the story, Twitter started putting state-sponsored media kind of thing, which is the same banner that they would put on news from other countries that was completely state controlled, like in China or Russia, where they do that kind of thing more. Russia Today is a good example. But NPR is insisting that their editorial board is completely free from any of that influence, and stopped posting on Twitter because of that moniker that was being added to their thing, because they felt like it hurt their credibility. Elon Musk came back with, well, why does it say on your website that you couldn't exist without state funding? I don't know. It's a tough. PBS is the same way. PBS is state funded. I've always liked their news. I feel like they do a good job. I feel like if you were looking on one of those fact checking websites, it would be like it would be like a 50-50, not even 50-50, but sort of like a blend. Yeah, they do get state money, but it's not like Russia or China where they are completely just the government's version of the news. I mean, clearly anybody that's watched NPR and PBS over the years knows that that's not the case. All right, here we go. Silas just posted the 10 most unbiased news sources in 2023, released by one of the most fraudulent, manipulative companies of all time. I don't even know what this is. But Pure VPN, I don't know. Do we trust these guys? I don't. I tend to not trust anything, but at the same time understand that things can be valuable sources for information to to think about and ponder myself. I definitely, I feel like you can listen to the news and get what you need from it. I don't really understand what we're even debating here. NPR is a good source for news. I've listened to it forever. I'm a relatively intelligent individual. I'm sure they get some things wrong just like everybody else, but a lot of what the news is supposed to be is who, what, when, and where. That's all it is. It's what happened today, where did it happen, who did it happen to. That's the news. You start getting into stuff like I don't know, wars or lockdowns and things like that. I mean, it definitely gets incredibly complicated, and but that is not like the main job of the news. The news is like a daily thing that's just telling you who, what, when, where, how. Even why is dangerous. But according to this, we got the 10 most unbiased news sources. Now, it is true, when Fox came along, MSNBC, a lot of radio, politics, and stuff like that is purely biased. It's completely just pushing a narrative, and it's all perspective-based. What bolsters our point of view? How do we disseminate these news stories in a way that boosts our narrative? So we are in murkier waters than ever before. But that's because, like Dad pointed out, there's only 30 minutes of news a day. Exactly 30 minutes of who, what, when, and where. And if you're a 24/7 news station, you have to make up a lot of stuff after that. The Associated Press is number one on here, which is mostly just, isn't that you'll find the Associated Press in almost every list of unbiased news outlets, and this is no different. The news stories, including the political ones, are covered using neutral and unprovocative language. Their journalists report facts. All right, so I should bookmark these. Let's see what the Associated Press came out of the gate with today. High Court temporarily blocks restrictions. We covered that. I know that the Drudge is biased. It's definitely right-leaning, but it does a really good job just giving me a bunch of headlines on one page, and I've been using it for years, and I haven't found one I like better. And I don't really mind the slant because I'm used to it, and it just sort of rolls off me. Yeah, I'm not loving the layout of that, but I'll keep these tabs open and think about them after the show. Reuters is another news source that's unbiased in its reporting, and you can see why as soon as you visit the site. There are no clickbait article titles, and their journalists focus on fact-based coverage of stories and giving you a well-rounded view. Let's see how this is laid out. This could maybe work. But as you notice, if you have multiple sources, that's the best source, is all of them. That is the best source. I have friends, that every time they send me a link to a story, it's from the same source over and over and over again. I'm just like, oh my God, don't you see what's happening? I think all of the above is the answer. And NPR should be a part of that palette, a well-balanced meal. While NPR is usually featured on most lists of least biased news outlets, it has been accused of left-leaning, and it always has been a little left-leaning. That's for sure. We heard Joe West's song yesterday. you can jump from there. Why would a trailer park liberal be dying to find NPR? However, most of the others strongly adhere to the fundamentals of journalism, particularly accountability. Now, what I don't mind about something being like NPR being left-leaning was, especially back in the day, that just meant that they were more likely to question a war or to scrutinize the power structures and criticize and explore the possibility that maybe the power structures were corrupt. The BBC. News coverage on the BBC is balanced, making it one of the best options for unbiased stories. Headlines avoid favoring one side over another, and the content is free from political influence. Personally, I've always loved RT. Russia Today, when it was on TV, used to provide some of the most leftist stuff I'd ever seen on TV. There was even a guy from Richmond that had a show on there for a while. A lot of our most famous leftist YouTubers in this country got their start on RT, and they all claimed they had completely free editorial control over their shows. They would swear on a stack of Bibles to this day that was the case. And I don't know what's true or not, but I do think it was fascinating that RT, that I watched probably for a year before I realized stood for Russia Today, was giving us some of the best leftist content ever seen on TV. But boy, those shows were just daily. It was just, a cool American leftist just talking about how corrupt and evil America was, basically, in all big businesses and everything. And then after a while, you're like, oh, my God, wait a second. This is Russia Today. Just do the math. Holy moly, what's going on? PBS NewsHour is one of the few, another one of those that I like. Oh, what's it called? What's the Middle East one? I've watched that a lot for different stories. Sometimes it's good to know the sort of lean or whatever, and then you can lean into which direction you go for the real story. You look at who the villain is in the story or what the basic thing is, and then what source you want to go to see what they're saying about it, because you can sort of tell how that angle is going to inform you. Like if Al Jazeera, exactly. That's exactly what I'm thinking of. But sometimes you want the Al Jazeera take. A story will break in a headline. I'll go right to Al Jazeera. What are they saying? I'll go right to this, because of their slant. That's what I need to get the angle on getting my brain around a certain story. I'll go to Fox News. I'll go to I'll do that for all kinds of stories. Got to see what Fox is saying about this. I mean, who doesn't do that? And I feel that way about all of them. PBS NewsHour is one of the few commercial news sources to avoid instances of inaccuracies and controversies. I do feel like, there's definitely a difference between a lot of these news sources and a blog or a YouTube channel or something like that, because they will pay a heavy price in their own personal credibility in their shows for reporting a false story. Whereas a YouTuber or a blogger can be wrong 9 out of 10 times and just be right about one thing, and they'll their entire feather and their entire cap is all that one time they were right out of 10. Whereas if you're a quote unquote reputable news source and you put out something that is completely not true, people pay for that. People lose jobs, people lose money, heads roll if you're trying to be an actual credible news source like CBS News. 40% of CBS News' audience is left-leaning, while 20% is right-leaning, and that leaves 40%. Wait, how many does that leave? Yeah, that leaves a whole 40% of regular old people. According to a 2014 Pew Research study, The Guardian is number 7 on this list. I don't know about that. New York Times is number 8 and pissed. New York Times is down here just staring up the ladder, shaking its head in disbelief, tapping its toe impatiently. CNN, number 9. CNN is psyched to be on this list at all. It is happy where it is. It doesn't feel the need to go anywhere ever. NBC News is number 10. Who made this list? Who are you people? It was a very America-centric list for sure, with some England in there, of course. Pure VPN. It's a little sad that all these sources are all the big guys that we already knew. It'd be cool if there was like, oh, you really should check out this little upstart because they're doing a fine job. They're very unbiased. All right, well, there we go. That was a good little healthy breakdown, but I didn't see any stories on any of those sites that we haven't explored already in today's show. So I would put Surly in the Morning afternoon news on that list. Chad's back. Breaking news, Chad has re-entered the chat. But I think we're pretty much done here. We've made it through the news. It was a Friday news day. Joe Rogan just issued a warning about artificial intelligence. Ooh. He knows, too, because he used to be on News Radio. Wait, was that the name of that show? Was it News Radio? I might have to watch that show. I think it's on Netflix or something. All right, well, we've made it through the news here. I don't even feel like we need to dance it off. I don't feel as icky today as I usually do after going through the news. But we could dance it off just because we love to dance. That could be true, too.
I was carved from a block of wood 1,000 years old by a boy who gave me my eyes and arms and legs. He's getting pretty good at getting me to do as I'm told. If you can't hear me, I beg. My 6 strings, 1 head, 1 mouth, 2 hands, 2 feet. My 6 strings don't wanna, but I'm walking down this model street. Gonna write a letter. Dear puppeteer, I don't wanna play here. I don't wanna stay here. Dear puppeteer. Look close, you can almost see me breathing. Look up, there's a young man with a cross. Try to get the light just right so you don't see them. But they're always there. Oh, I'm aware who's boss. My 6 strings, 1 head, 1 mouth, 2 hands, 2 feet. My 6 strings, without them I fall down in a heap. Gonna write a letter. Dear puppeteer, I don't wanna play here. I don't wanna stay here. Dear puppeteer. Concern, yes, I am complaining. I've been thinking, and it's been hurting my brain. I am always young, but he is aging. It's different now. Some things never change. My 6 strings, 1 head, 1 mouth, 2 hands, 2 feet. My 6 strings, I can't be still and still be me. Gonna write a letter. Dear puppeteer, I don't wanna play here. I don't wanna stay here. Dear puppeteer, I don't wanna play here. I don't wanna stay here. Dear puppeteer.
You're all very beautiful to me. Have a wonderful weekend. See you Monday for more news. Probably be some music at some point this weekend. Really having fun playing on the stream. Oh my goodness. Be sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel so you get notified when we go live. There's no set time for any of these shows. So you really want to get on the old YouTube there. Like, share, and subscribe. Click the bell so you get notified when we're live. And we will see you very, very soon. Thanks for watching. Thanks for caring. And, yep, go get them, Tigers. Give them heaven.
You might want to head for the hills. I wake homeless with a toothache. I wake fired with a stack of bills. It's my chance to be bitter, and there's plenty to be bitter about. I wake wise to the wicked ways of the world, and I snarl and I grimace and pout. I wake up early in the morning.